where to begin with this because, admittedly, like I said, this is mostly filler content because after basically, well, first off, I got sick from then I got dragged to the state for 4 days, and then I got shoved into work for another four. So content production has been kind of slow. So my idea is this, calling it the voice box, just to give people something to listen to, so it's not just dead on my channel until the next upload.
Makes sense, makes sense. Well, Jesus Christ, second God, my dude.
Yeah, it was not fun. I don't know what happened. I fucked up my leg. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it wasn't. It was normal until then.
Ah, yes, another symptom of fucked up leg syndrome.
I think it's just because I didn't use it for like 4 days, and then I started running a day after that.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially considering it does what? It does blood clotting. What the fuck does
Oh god.
not do at this point? I swear.
I don't fucking know.
Coat wait long enough and gonna give you cancer or some shit. I think the first thing we should just do is introduce each other, considering that this is gonna be a little podcast and stuff, and I am just some random schmuck from the internet you grabbed off.
Oh yeah. Well, as people know, I am Voices, and what would you like to go by?
My name is Josephine Jack Joy. I'm just some queer from France, and most of my friends call me Jack, so just call me that.
Got it, Jack.
Yeah. To give a bigger introduction of myself, I used to be a waitress at a little hotel that me and the people that I've talked to about this place have lovingly called Hell Hotel. It's a place in the middle of Germany, basically, like right proper in the middle. If you throw it out in there, you'll be right around there. It's part of a big chain that is notorious for just being absolutely bad. Just absolutely terrible, even under like restaurant people, just like servers and front of house managers, and just everyone hates our hotel chain. Everyone. I am not kidding. I am not going to say the name of the place I work to because it is a rather big chain, but suffice it to say, it's pretty unique because it has a very stupid name. It has a name in another language that basically every single person in Germany hates. So that should be enough of a hint to give off which little restaurant and hotel chain I'm talking about.
So you're basically the equivalent of Lamerigo here in America.
Yeah, yeah, we are. Hello Hotel. There we go. I'm gonna call it Hello Hotel from now on, because why not?
We can work with that. Which that leads into the first concept. Oh, no, fucking concept. The first topic for the channel that I had. I can't fucking speak. I literally just woke up. I'm probably just gonna edit that part out. The first topic that we came up with was, since the channel is loosely horror-based, I can stretch anything to pretty much fit that concept. Jobs. Jobs are pretty horrifying, so we're mostly going to be talking about some of the shit we've seen at work.
And trust me, Hello Hotel has given content. I think we can fill at least 10 podcasts full of the horror stories I have seen.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
So who should go first?
I'm gonna give you first dibs, because trust me, I can go on forever.
A little Voices trivia. I have worked way too many jobs. I don't know why people keep hiring me. In the past 3 years, I think I've worked maybe 15 jobs.
Damn.
Well, in my defense, it's not just I don't want to top random jobs because I like it. I was effectively homeless for like 2 years, so it was kind of a necessity. But I've had some interesting places I've worked at. Primarily, I've worked in casinos, retail, Walmart, one everybody loves. The most interesting one is probably the Olympic Training Center in Colorado.
How in the fuck did you get in there?
It's easier than you think. You don't need special qualifications, especially for the fact that I was just the cleaner.
Okay, that makes sense.
But uh, it was actually an interesting job. It's not really a bad thing. I just didn't want to be the guy responsible for ending a career because I didn't clean mat and some asshole got MRSA. I don't actually don't have anything like bad about that job. One job I do have plenty of horror stories about was me painting planes, and by that I don't mean I painted them. I was You kind of work your way up the ladder to painting them, and at the very bottom, you just work in a giant bay full of planes. Well, not full of planes; it holds one plane. Yeah, my job was basically just they pour not acid, but it's a chemical that just peels all the paint off the planes, and then my job is to sand it, mop up all that gunk, something that fucking is gonna give you cancer in about 6 years. So
Oh, cool. You grow a second head then.
yeah, I nearly died many times in that job, and I only worked there for 3 days.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not kidding when I say part of the orientation is you just watching security footage of people fucking up and nearly dying. there, there were many clips of just things catching fire, and one part there's like a little wing guards in the plane, so that way when you're like on the not forklift, the scissor lift, you don't bump into it and damage the plane. One of those, a guy was underneath it. It just fell off and hit him. And these things weigh like 30 pounds.
Oh, Jesus, please us.
And nobody reacted for a good 10 minutes because they didn't know. So my first experience nearly dying in that job was they very much stressed if they're one of the things they do is test the plane to make sure everything's working. And they say if the light at the bottom of it starts blinking, get away because it's turning on. You know what you don't see in a bay which is surgically lit to the point that shadows don't exist? A tiny blinking light underneath the plane. So I was just minding my own business, and suddenly I just hear like a little sound, and I have to fucking book it because I was standing right next to the turbine that was turning on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So surprisingly, that wasn't my fucking first time I nearly died in that job, but I'll save that for a bit, and I'll let you go for a minute.
Okay, so I guess since we're talking about first experiences, I think I'm gonna start with the first horror story I have from Hell Hotel. And it's funnily enough at my first week properly at the job. I worked for the place for like a year as an intern, and mostly as an intern, there isn't really much interesting going on. It was mostly just being overworked to hell, nothing really funny happening. But now I actually have the job properly. I'm now there as a full-time employee, essentially. And I arrived there, and the first thing my then boss tells me to do is, hey, you're not supposed to be here. We need you at the special event. So I'm like, okay, cool. Where is it? And our workplace was right next to an actual castle. So she's like,
But just dead ass an
like
actual
an
castle.
actual castle. It,
Fucking
it's Europe. There's like tiny castles over everywhere in Germany. It wasn't like a big thing. It was just like a tiny little replica that somebody made because they were jealous of the French.
never heard someone be jealous of them before.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm supposed to walk down to this castle business, and I guess I'm doing catering for my first day on the job. Cool. Never done catering. So I walk down, and I'm at the castle, and there's nobody. It's closed. The gate's closed. I can't walk in. I can't walk in. So I'm like, okay, so that's confusing. I walk back, and my boss is like, "Why the fuck are you back so soon? You're like catering for 5 hours," and I'm like, "The castle's closed. The princess is in our castle, ma'am. Ma'am, why have you sent me there?" And she's like genuinely confused. So we both walk to basically my hours sheet, like the work schedule, and she looks and she's like, wait, when did I plan you in for catering duty at the castle? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Isn't it your first
Yeah,
day?
it's my first day, so I'm like, I
Why are they asking you?
why am I being asked? I've never done catering before. And she's like, wait, what do you mean you have never done catering? Aren't you this other person? And I'm like, no, I am dead name because I'm not out to my workplace at the time. I'm still in the closet.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, but where the fuck is this dude? And why the fuck do we don't aren't we having like catering at the castle? And then she looks at the work schedule and she just sees the name crossed out, and I am confused and she's confused. So I just kind of help the breakfast shift there that day, and apparently just a colleague of mine stopped existing. He was just gone.
Did you just never see him after that?
I have never seen that man. It is my first day on a job. I am being told to go to a job that doesn't exist with a coworker that seemingly has gone missing.
Jesus Christ.
So to give you an example of the type of stories I'm going to be able to tell about my workplace, I have my first day on a job. I'm supposed to rep in for somebody else on a job that does not exist with a coworker that has gone missing.
Fucking what? Did he just get abducted? What happened to him? Did he ever come back?
No, that's the thing. We had like a workplace WhatsApp group where only employees were, like no managers, no like boss staff, and I got added there, and everyone, and like for an entire week there was like, hey, has somebody heard anything about? I think his name was Alex, which now that I say it makes it actually a bit funnier. Like just a dude called Alex disappears from his workplace, never to be seen again. No peep, no nothing.
God, fucking! I'm just like trying to pull together. There's a castle. Someone's missing. You started in a crime drama. That's what you fucking did.
This is not the only crime drama worthy shit that has happened in my workplace, mind you. This is not even the tip of the iceberg, but this is my first day on the job. It is fucking hilarious. It was honestly an omen for what would happen to me later in Hello Hotel. Like, Jesus Christ.
God, it wasn't my first day in the job, but one of my most long-standing jobs that I actually really liked was I worked in a casino as security, and I have so many fucking stories because everybody there is just in a casino is just a madman.
I can imagine.
And so it wasn't my first day because the training process is about 2 weeks, but it was my first day on my own, and that first day was New Year's Eve. So, it's a casino. It was suddenly very full, and this is pre. So, what happens on New Year's Eve specifically? It's called All Hands on Deck, and I don't know if you use this, but in a lot of jobs in America, they hate people having, sick days or vacation time. So, if you call off a day, you get a point, and you get too many points, you basically terminated. So, on New Year's Eve, if anybody calls off for any reason, whether you be sick or anything, you get like double the amount of points you usually do. So, everybody was there, and it was 12-hour shifts, because typically it's a very uniform job. It's 8 hours, shift change, 8 hours, shift change. It's a very tight-knit schedule. But on New Year's Eve, it's 12-hour shifts. So there was a lot of overlap between the shifts because we just needed that many people. And so I'm just minding my own business, just kind of wandering around because at this point I have floor duty, which is, as I said, it's just wandering around. You're just being a presence, making sure people know security is there. Don't fuck around. And so I get to the front of where the entrance gate is, and I see about, I think, 2 managers and about 6 supervisors surrounding one guy. And I'm just like, all right, what happened? So I'm just hanging out and eavesdropping. And this man starts talking. He's like, oh no, it's like I'm gay. This is my husband. It's like showing pictures on his phone. I'm like, okay. I'm just thinking, did this man grope a woman, and is that what he's like being accused of here? Because that's my logical conclusion. But about 2 hours later, after that whole incident, because I had things to do, making sure people didn't kill themselves with alcohol, mainly. So I asked my supervisor, it's like, oh yeah, what was with that guy? And it's like, oh yeah, he punched a machine and broke a button. So it took about 3 seconds of silence before I went, so what does him being after being gay have to do with it? And nobody had any idea why he started talking about that. It's like,
that's hilarious. Oh my god.
I just can't, usually, like, I'm a very LGBT friendly person. Obviously I've got you here. I've had my own share of boyfriends. I'm not gonna lie. So it's like I don't really have a problem with the lifestyle, but people, it's like I know people use a lot of things as a shield. So it's like this man's like, what was your defense? Do you think you're just gonna get off by just saying you had a husband?
I can counter this with the like genuinely most weird like counter to anything I've heard.
Go ahead.
This is like 2 years after I started working full time at Hello Hotel. I've been moved to night shift, and we had basically a 3-course menu there, because there were like 5 people total that night. And the first person comes in, and it's like this 60-year-old Karen. Let's be honest. It's the supreme Karen, suit on, blonde hair with a hair tie. Just
she's not just a Karen; she has the experience.
Yes, she is an top tier experienced S+ Karen. So I'm already like, great, cool. This is gonna be a lovely time. So I walk up to her with my usual business smile, going, "Hey, how can I help you? What can I bring to you?" and shit. And I just note everything down, and she gets like the pasta meal basically. She gets like pasta with bolognese sauce or something like that. I don't fully remember
What kind of sauce?
Just Italian pasta, okay?
Okay. They said like bologna sauce. I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Bolognese, sorry.
Bolognese, okay.
I know I pronounce things weirdly, okay? It's fine.
I'm just saying, bologna sauce just put like a whole like other mental image in my head.
So I bring this lady, I think it was like a glass of wine and then like a bottle of just regular water. And after like half an hour, she finally gets her pasta. And it's like just regular pasta with like meat chunks and tomato sauce and all of that good shit. And she looks at it, and she like tilts the plate like from side to side, like inspecting it, and I'm just like watching it. And my coworker comes in like after one and goes, "Hey, what is this lady doing?" And I'm just like shrugging, and we just both watch this lady tilt her plate to the side, then to the other side, and then she just kind of pokes it with her fork, like questioningly. And that's when I decide, okay, this is stupid. I'm just gonna go to her. I'm gonna ask what the fuck is wrong with her. Worst mistake of my life. If I could have slapped if I had the foresight, I would have slapped myself. I would have said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm making my coworker do this shit. I am not dealing with her. But me being a goody two shoes, I'm like, I don't wanna hurt my coworker. I'm going to go to this Karen. So I go, is anything amiss, my lady? And she's like, yes. What is this garbage excuse for a pasta you've given me? And I stand there for a second and go, would you mind telling me what's wrong with it? And she's like, this is absolutely disgusting sauce. This is oily as hell. Do you not see what's wrong with it? Are you blind? Do you think I'm a fool? I'm a hot-blooded Italian, and I will not stand for the slander of Italian pasta. And I'm like, we just sell food here, ma'am. What the fuck? We sell food here, and she's like trying to explain to me how this entire thing is wrong, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm seeing nothing besides like a teeny tiny puddle of oil, teeny tiny, barely perceptible. That's the thing that she was like swishing her plate towards from left to right, and I'm like, this is a fucking child. So I'm like, okay, ma'am, give me a second. I'll bring this out in a moment. I'll bring in a new plate. And I just walk back to the kitchen and I'm like, hey, lads, please just remove the oil from from whatever sauce you've been using in this. This lady is actually fucking insane. If you don't do something about this right now, she's gonna be on our ass the entire night. And
For a split second, sorry to interrupt. For a moment, I thought just with that silence, I thought you were gonna say that you just had him like get a paper towel and just like dab up that little bit and bring it back.
I considered asking about it, but that day our actual good cook Leia was in there, and if I would have asked Leia that, she would have chopped my head off and turned me into a real Dullahan in that moment. And sadly, I cannot survive that.
I've worked with a lot of cooks. I know they're fucking insane.
It's not that she's insane, it's that she's extremely proud of her work, and considering some stories I have to tell, she is allowed to. She was like the one good cook in that kitchen.
Alright, so continue on with the Uber Karen.
So, I got the plate. I swish it around myself like a fucking maniac because now I have to appease the Karen, so I have to think like a Karen. Most likely reducing my intelligence to like 5 or something. I see nothing, so I bring it out to her. And she just looks at it, and out of her handbag she grabs like a piece of basil, I think, places it on top of it, and she just smiles and says grazie, and then just like does this weird ass from ear to ear grin, and I'm like, no problem, and I just step away like slowly, and I go to the next customer that comes in because I don't want to deal with this lady anymore.
Man, that kind of reminded me of one story. A lot of the people, especially in a casino, just I don't understand their thoughts. Like, some of them are just. I have to like actually. I'm gonna share my screen here. I have to give you a visual demonstration. I will put it on the video.
Okay.
All right. So, at the entrance of my casino, like, here's. So yes, I'm just using paint. It's the first thing I've had at hand. It's like, this is my desk. This is the entrance. People leave this way and they fucking come in this way. We have this little dividing line. It's actually very important because above these we have like digital counters that count in how many people are in or out.
Okay, makes sense.
And surveillance takes note of that. Alright, so, and like, say, here's the escalators. My shit-ass mouse drawing of the escalators. I have a lot of escalator stories, but this is not one of them. But just right here, we've got like a fancy little, well, it's called the deli, but it's not a deli at all. It just sells like prepackaged snacks and shit like that. It's basically a tiny convenience store.
Okay, makes sense.
And so one person's staffed here, and another person is staffed here to check, make sure people don't come in through the exit, because surveillance gets on our ass about that. I've had people multiple times come up to me right here and ask me, how do I get to the deli? Keep in mind, there's no wall. It's direct visual contact. I literally just looked at this man and told him, it's like, turn 32 degrees left, go straight. It's got a massive sign. You cannot miss it. Like, I don't understand how these people think sometimes. Or fucking another one where a little old lady came up to me, and in a casino, it's probably the most spoiled people you'll ever meet. Because I was staffed, I was standing right here instead, outside of my usual spot, and some little old lady comes off the escalator and she tries to come in through the exit
Mhm.
side. And I just ask her, it's like, hey, sorry, ma'am, this is the exit. It's like, do you mind walking around so you can go inside? Because we have to ID everybody, regardless of their age, just anything. And she gets so offended of having to take like 3 steps. There's no line, mind you, no line. And she takes 3 steps to the left. She gets so offended, she just turns around and fucking leaves.
Oh my god.
Some of the people I deal with at this job.
Amazing. I swear. People are so fucking weird,
It's-
man. I think for the next story I am going to tell, I'm gonna have to provide some visual aids. Sadly, I can't. I didn't take a picture of the aftermath, mostly because a customer was eating, so I couldn't like take pictures of like the food. But I took pictures of like our buffet that day because I wanted to tell that story after I was done like one day to like one of my friends. And you're now my friend, and everyone listening to this video is now my friend. So now you're going to be cursed with the story of how I met a fucking alien on my work day.
Oh no.
So this was my last year on the job. I've been doing night shift for like a year at that point, and I thought I'd seen it all. Foolishly enough,
Dude,
I
fucking-
thought that I have met every single weird person I could have met.
Dude, night shift changes people.
Night
man.
shift changes people. So I'm at the bar, basically waiting until our dinner service comes in, which is a buffet that day, and we have like a few. We basically have a bunch of corporate people here. They're here for like a seminar. They're just staying overnight, eating, learning shit about how to sell Volkswagens 70% more by inflating male egos a little bit more in the ads. Seriously, the shit that they're talking about in seminars is weird, but that's another topic entirely.
Oh man, that reminds me of an ad for something I'll show you later.
So I have had like one person, like one American, drinking a beer. He's from like not Mercedes-Benz, from Cadillac. There we go. He's from Cadillac, which is rare, exotic, because we don't usually get Americans over here. And in walks another American. And you know the dude from Talking Heads, when he wears like the suit to that is just extremely out of proportion with his body.
Oh yeah.
Imagine a person walking in like that. The suit.
Oh my god, he didn't have a tailored suit.
I think the suit was tailored when he was a little bit bigger, because it had his name. It had his name embossed on the suit, which I could actually see once I actually served him at the table, but I didn't see it then. So he comes in, and he basically looks like a skeleton with skin on. Like, it's completely outstretched. He's pale as sin. His eyes are completely sunken in and barely, like, moisturized, even, I'd say.
So you met a dark wizard.
Let me continue on that. So, he comes in, and I serve him drinks for a while, and he's there for like an hour and a half, and he drinks a lot. He drinks like 11 beers on his own, and it does not faze him. He is
That's America
he is
for you.
completely unfazed.
Fucking people think Germans like got the good beer, which they do, but fucking you'd be surprised what some Americans can do on our piss water.
Yeah, that's very fair. It's just like, it's surprising because we sell them by the keg, and that's like half a liter. So it's a lot of beer, even for like German standards.
This man has more beer than blood at this point.
Honestly, I think he was. So and he like takes over his tab and the tab of his colleague, and he slides me in his credit card, and I take a look at his name, and I shit you not, and please, I shit you not. His name is Chad Warden Dinkelstein. That name I could not forget. It is the funniest shit to me. His name is Chad Warden. So,
Fucking what a name.
already that extremely funny work story. But I signed it into our card reader, and our card reader has a funny issue that if a credit card has too much money in its account, it sometimes just likes to freeze and soft lock.
Look at, that's a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
This man was too rich for your fucking.
This man was too rich for our card reader. I don't remember why that was an issue. It's, if I remember correctly, our card reader was like malfunctioning already, and it was like a shitty old one. So it basically froze up if you did anything wrong. But that was just a really funny issue with it. So I slapped the thing.
God.
Try it again.
What a fucking. What a flex! Like you go in, it's like, oh sorry, my credit card is too powerful. For
Too
you.
powerful for this little old dinky card reader. So I slap it a bit. It works, thank fuck, because I had to like try like 3 times. He leaves like a tip of $50, which, God, I love Americans. It's not it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
usual for anyone in Europe to tip. So every single American, I love you when you tip.
Dude, that's fucking why I love my job. Fucking, I learned what it's like because you know, fucking tipping culture. The reason it exists is because a lot of wait staff get underpaid because they expect to be tipped.
Yep, I understand.
No, I fucking work at my job. I make like 11 an hour before tips, and because people in casinos love throwing away money, I'm making like 20 an hour.
Amazing. So,
But go ahead.
so he pays, and there's like half an hour where I'm just fucking around doing nothing. And so I make myself a little alcohol-free cocktail, and I get myself ready for
Coffee cocktail? What'd you spike it with?
alcohol-free. My God.
Okay. Just okay. Sorry to keep interrupting.
It's fine. So I'm getting ready for buffet service, which was like, it was like 15 people, but because they were like all businessmen, they were like, just make something easy for us. Just let us grab and go, and we're like, okay, we can do that. We can do that. And first customer is Chad Warden. He's there first. And I'm like, okay, I want to take this funny man. So I'm taking his order, and he literally just wanted like a bottle of sparkling water, so I just gave it to him. It's fine. And then, because I have nothing to do, I like to watch like our customers, what they eat, because you know we are a restaurant inside a hotel. People eat the weirdest shit, and that's why I gave you the entire buffet to explain to you the fucking weird shit he ate. So he goes to the buffet, and he takes one of the chicken breasts, right? Okay. And then he walks over to the next little bucket, just grabs himself some hash browns, I believe it's called in American in English. And then after that, he walks to the salad station, grabs a bit of lettuce, and then he walks to the dessert station. And he just pours chocolate sauce all over that.
Oh no.
He pours chocolate sauce all over that. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Okay, that's disgusting. I don't like that. And then he goes back to the salad station. Grabs another fucking spoonful of iced lettuce. Pours it over the chicken. Over the chicken chocolate monstrosity. Goes back to the dessert station. Pours vanilla sauce on all over that. Goes back to the chicken station. Grabs himself another chicken breast.
What is this man doing?
puts it on top of that monstrosity, which is now like this collapsing tower of human hubris, and pours some red wine sauce on top of that.
What the
And
fuck?
then he goes and eats that. And I saw him, I watched him, with intent, eat that.
Do you think, like, okay, so like rich people do weird shit just for fun. Do you think he was like, that's a thing he actually likes? Or do you think he was just like pulling a power move because he knew people were looking?
No, he was the only person there. He
Oh,
was
no.
the only person there, the first person, so it was not a power move.
This was just what he likes.
This is just what he likes. So I go to him, and he has his like little iPad while he munches on his little just abomination. Yeah, and I'm like, are you enjoying your food, sir? And he just with like a disgusting crack, he turns his head to me and goes, "Yes,
Oh god.
I would like some privacy." And I'm like, okay,
This thing
yes,
is not
sure,
human.
I will give you privacy. Please call me when you want me.
Jesus Christ.
So I step back, and my colleague like just came in because he's like the closer, and he asked me, so what the fuck? Why are you like shaking? And I'm like, dude, you have no idea what the fuck you have just missed. You
have met like an actual monster. This is an actual horror story.
I am to this day insistent that I've met an alien, because I swear to fuck, this man could not have been human. The name, the amount of money he has been stacking, the inhuman thirst, and whatever the fuck he ate there. This was not a man. This was a monster. This was an actual alien.
Dude, the way you were describing him, after a while it kind of clicked. Do you know who Review Bra is?
Review.
I'm gonna send you an image of him because it's just your description made me think of him.
All right, review bra. Oh my god.
It's like-
Yeah, that was. I met his like twisted evil self.
You met the fucking doppelganger.
I met the doppelganger of review bra.
God damn, that puts my next door to shame.
As said, I have so many of these, and they get increasingly weird.
Okay, so mine's shorter and a lot simpler. But one time at the casino, there was a woman who, I don't know whose idea this was. It was frankly just a terrible idea overall, because they decided to have have you ever been to a casino? I don't know if they're like popular in Europe or even legal.
They're legal. I have been in exactly one for like 1 second. Decided, this smells like piss, and left.
Oh, dude, yeah, you get used to the scents. Like, I managed to start impressing my friend because when I was out of state, I took him to a casino just to teach him how to play blackjack because I used to deal it into the casino. But I started being able to identify cigarette brands just by the scent.
Oh my god.
Keep in mind, I don't smoke. It's just long enough. You stay there long enough, you start being able to tell. But anyways, so the thing is, alcohol there is fucking expensive. I think for a shot, it's like $6.
Oh, that's a highway robbery.
Maybe $7. Yeah, and never go to a casino for like food or drink. Even with the employee discount I got, I was paying out the ass on occasion. But anyways, so which leads into this idea. Someone somewhere thought it was a good idea to have a $3 margarita night. So basically the entire casino was drunk, and I had to deal with that.
Oh dear.
And so I distinctly remember over the radio we used numbers instead of like words because it made it easier because first off the surveillance was listening and they knew all the code, but The Gaming Commission is what it's called. They were also listening, but they don't know the codes as well. They know them, but they just don't really care. They only listen for certain things. And the Gaming Commission is pretty much in every casino. They're on-site federal government. It's basically like, if anybody goes fucked, they're the guys with the guns. So that's pretty much what they're there for.
Okay, then.
Like, I'm security, but they're like the advanced security. You get surveillance on you. You get them. They're basically the KGB of casinos. That's the best way to put it. Anyways, so I just hear over the radio. It's like, 22. Can you report to Bravo 305? I'm like, okay, what's happening in Bravo? So I walk over there, and Bravo is just like a little section. We divide it all into like sections, and Bravo is the rich asshole section. So I go over there, and there's just a woman on the floor. My first thought is, oh god, she's dead. She wasn't moving. And no, it turned out she was okay.
Oh my god.
She was just... Because it was my supervisor was just standing there with a clipboard, writing things down, wasn't even looking at her, and the rest of the staff was ignoring her. So it's like, alright, what happened? So he just tells me, I had to get there, he's like, pick her up. It's like, okay. So this little old lady, maybe like 50, 60, maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. That's a lot of weight when it's dead weight. I had to fucking pick her up, peel her off the ground. I even look at my supervisor and it's like, can you help? He goes, no. And I fucking sat her down in this chair and she's barely clinging on. I'd like hold her to make sure she doesn't fall off again. And first off, the reason why he didn't help me pick her up, because he already picked her up twice. And so he's just filling out a medical report because you so much as like, you get static cling. This is how fucking documented everything in a casino is. It's so much paperwork. I literally touched a machine and went, oh shit, that shocked me. And he goes, I didn't hear that. I go, why? Because I've heard that, I have to fill a medical report. It's like, all right. So anyways, so he's just sitting there fucking filling out the paperwork. And we get her all settled in. She was drunk off her ass, barely conscious. To the point that we had to wheel her out in a wheelchair to the cab.
Jesus Christ.
God forbid. Yeah, I don't know how she got home, because, like, sure, she got to the cab, but I don't know what she did after that. So... fuck, right. The point of the story is that this woman was so drunk so many times, we just had to throw her out. And my fucking supervisor was so done with her that he wasn't even looking at her anymore.
Oh my god.
Which is honestly impressive. I don't know how much margaritas this woman drunk to hit this point. Because I've dealt with drunk assholes. I've never dealt with someone, like, on the floor drunk.
Now that you mention it, I've actually not dealt with a lot of really drunk assholes in my job. Huh.
Fuck. Maybe they just hold their liquor better.
Maybe. But it's also because, like, all of the assholes were sober, sadly. And much weirder.
Like I said, it's not that interesting of a story, but to kind of make up for it, there was another short story of, for the first time I saw someone get mugged in the casino, I actually don't remember all the details because I saw it very much in passing, but I was there while the manager was filling out the report, and it turns out the person who mugged this guy was the fucking, like, nephew of a famous professional wrestler.
Damn.
So that was, like, the weirdest connection I've made while I was in that casino. Fucking, I had to, like, get this guy out. And it turns out, do you know who my cousin is? Like, I don't give a shit. And it's like, I don't even remember the guy's name. But it's like, so, fucking get out of here. We don't give a shit. You're in a backwater casino in the Midwest. We don't give a shit about fame.
I wish I could tell a story like that, but sadly I never met, like, anyone actually famous. I've had a lot of, like, C-list celebrities, like, try and, like, coax a free drink out of me, but it's like, you're a C-list celebrity. I don't know you. I'm literally, like, a town away, and I have no idea who the fuck you are. I don't give a singular shit that you sold 10 CDs yesterday. Leave.
My closest brush with like actual celebrity was, I worked at a little place called Steak and Shake, which is a little like classic style, fucking what's the word, diner, and so everybody was like looking at this one guy. People were talking about him. It was like people were like getting autographs, and I just walk up to the, and one of my coworkers pulled me aside. It's like, "Who's this guy?" It's like, "I don't fucking know." It's like, "I don't watch TV," and because I do not give a shit about people's social status, and I was a waiter. I just walked up to him. I was asked like, "So," it's like, "It's all these people." It's like, "What's important about you?" Just bluntly, I don't give a shit. Why are these people obsessed? And to be fair, he was like played it very cool because he was like one of the main actors on some like, it's a national TV channel, but it's not like a huge thing. I'd say he's probably like a B tier, maybe C tier celebrity, and he was very charming. But he's like, "Oh, I'm no one in particular," and I just pressed, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Prince Charming on the show Once Upon a Time." It's like, "Oh yeah, that show." All right, cool. I'm going back to my job. It's like I just didn't give a shit. I just wanted to know.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think I can add what is not a horror story, but I guess like a funny story about like not a celebrity, but meeting somebody like pretty important. Okay, so this was me at like last few months at my job. No, my last month at my job even. I've been given bartending duty because basically we had our main restaurant and then we had like this little bar which was its own entity, quote unquote, but that we basically owned. We just basically gave a fancy name to it. And we maybe had a bartender who stole a bunch of money from the hotel by just not putting in drinks that were like given out. So yeah, I had to do bartending duty because we had like at the end of my work relationship at that place, we had 5, 6 people working there full time, which is bad considering we have like 200 people over a day. But I digress. So I do bartending duty, and it's a pretty boring day. I can be honest. It was pretty slow. Nothing really happened. I'm bored out of my ass, and like the only person there is like this cute little tall blonde lady that is off in her corner just with a gigantic metric ass ton of papers. She's just flipping through there, just like rubbing her hair, just kind of going insane, very much despairing over what is in those papers. And I'm like, well, I'm bored out of my ass. She's cute. I'm gonna help her because, like, who the fuck gives a shit? I have nothing to do. So I walk up and I'm like, hey, can I help you somewhat in German? And she like stares at me kind of like confusedly and goes, "Can you speak English?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can speak English pretty fine." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I assume you also speak German considering you're working here." And I'm like, "Would be bad if I didn't." And she just like shows me papers and she's like, "Would you mind helping me translate those?" And I'm like, "Sure, I can help that." And I help her translate those papers. And after a while, I realize I don't think I should be reading these papers.
Oh, were they like some top secret shit?
They weren't top secret shit, mind you, but they were papers from the U.S. Embassy.
Oh no.
So I was like translating those, and after a while I'm getting this idea that yeah, I shouldn't be reading those, but also I just look over to my side and there's this very nice, very lovely looking lady in a very, very tailored gray 3-piece suit. Holy shit, I am homosexual, I think to myself, and I go, I'm going to shut up now. I am going to translate this for this cute girl, and so I do that. But at the end, I feel my goody two shoes nature going, hey, at least like talk to her about this because this feels kind of weird. And so I say,
This feels like the start of a fucking spy drama.
and I'm like, uh, so I don't think I should have helped you with that, but I hope that you're no longer in trouble. Can I ask why you needed my help in the first place? And this this lovely lady just fucking blushes in my face and just like collects those papers and is like, I'm like extremely sorry and stuff, and I didn't want to put you on the spot like that, but I don't actually know a lick of German. And I'm like, um, but don't you work at a US embassy? And she's like, yeah, I kind of do. And I'm like, how in the fuck do you work at the US embassy without knowing a lick of German? And she's like, this is the first day in about 3 years that I actually need a little bit of German. You'd be surprised how much I got away with bullshitting. And I'm like, okay, makes sense. It's America. Who gives? That sounds about right.
I mean, in fairness, she has a point. Like the thing is, I get the most prominent language, well, second most prominent language in the plane is English. So you literally just go anywhere, people will just speak English to you. If you try to speak shit ass German, they'll be like, nah, let's talk English. It's like, alright, cool, because you can just fucking get away with it.
Yeah, so that happens, and at this point she's like, so fuck, how was it? So she basically continues, and well, I kind of need this job. You see, the healthcare benefits are kind of nice, and without them, I wouldn't have this lovely chest you're looking at right now. Very clearly noticing that I have looked at her chest the entire time I did the translation.
Jesus Christ.
I can admit that. I was a horny motherfucker back then. I am a horny motherfucker now, and she was damn gorgeous.
Jack, please, just hide your lesbianism for like 5 minutes while I translate these secret documents. She's literally a fucking Bond villain. Like,
she was just some US embassy worker that I felt like translating stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're trans too, and I'm like, oh, and she and there's this little bit of just like, oh, we are both trans, and you can see her expression change from like this very shy, cute lady that like tries to be little meek, little tiny, keep herself into just like, I'm going to say it. She just turned Dom. She was trying to intimidate me, and little old 18-year-old me was a sucker for that. She got me. She
fucking
hooked me.
Like, this is the start of a fucking spy romance book.
But sadly, and this is the sad ending of the spy romance novel. Our workplace just got like new rulings on like both making out with coworkers and customers, thanks to some very bad stuff that happened like a few months prior. That's just extremely depressing and honestly just doesn't deserve being talked about. But
I like how I like how your work had to, like, it wasn't a pre-existing thing. They had to add a "don't make out with the customers" clause.
To be fair, it's like, who the fuck thinks that like the customer would make out with like just some service folk? And like, if it happens, who cares? But then we had to add it because some bad stuff happened. So, basically, every like half an hour, if the reception desk was free, the reception desk would like do a round around the hotel, just making sure that everyone was like doing their shit and not making out with customers.
Very important job.
Very important job. Honestly, one of the few things that the reception desk actually did. So so this lady was coming on to me, and little old me had to say, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I am on the job. If anyone
But
sees,
you couldn't slip her your number or anything?
if I am caught, I could lose my job. And she's like, well, darn. And she's like, well, we can still make out, right? And I'm like, sure. So we make out because fuck it. Just
Where the fuck did you just like go to the closet?
no. As said, this was like this little secondary building where there was like nobody. Nobody was there. It was pretty isolated. You had to like go inside, like check every little corner, every little stall and shit. So we were just making out in the stall for like a good half an hour. I got a lot. I got
amazing.
a lot of black lipstick on my face that day. It was very nice. So I go back to the bar because I have to ring her up, and I'm like, could I at least give you my number? And I swear, her heart broke, my heart broke. She had to say no because she works at the U.S. Embassy. She's not allowed to give out her number.
Ah,
That
that's
is
the worst.
That was so bad, but in the end, it was a good story. I got a lot of black lipstick that I spent like 10 minutes rubbing off my face, and it was really close. It was really close because I was like rubbing off my face, and like 2 minutes later, the reception desk finally came in, looked, saw me in like an empty bar, just like rubbing while I was bending over the bar because I knew that they'd be looking. So I had to make sure that nobody saw that I was rubbing lipstick off my face. That that night was one of my best work days ever, and it happened like a few weeks after I gave in like my 2 weeks notice, basically.
Jesus, so fucking. At least it's a story not many people could tell. You just fucking. I don't even have like a joke for it. It's just make it just itself.
The joke makes itself. The joke does really make itself.
So there's a spy thriller. You had the fucking monster encounter. That's the creepypasta. What genre have you not experienced at work?
Okay, let me go over things. So I had a murder happen while I was on the job.
Oh my god. I was joking, but here we go.
I was just there while it happened. I was like only in the same building. Basically, what happened? One of our cleaning ladies was making around through the supposedly empty hotel rooms because people were supposed to check out now, right? And they come to.
Oh my god, did the cleaning lady die?
No, but it's equally bad. It's equally bad. The cleaning lady found the corpse of a dead businessman.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there was just this dude sprawled up on a seat with I think it was a bloody wrench or something like that. I don't remember the entire.
Oh my god, this is literally fucking Clue.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god, it is Clue. Oh no. Oh no. This makes my story so fucking brutally funny. Just darkly comedic, but yeah, just they found a wrench bloody. They found a person with his skull cracked open in a room. And that's it. I got to leave the day off because murder scene. Police had to be called.
Yeah.
After that, we got no information about it. Just nothing. I tried to look for it, but nobody knew anything. Just a man was murdered while I was in the job, and nobody knows who did it.
Man, fucking. I've had like. I have lesser versions of your stories. Like, fucking. There's only been one time anyone's ever like even fucking flirted with me at work, and like I said, it was the first time, and it just baffled me so much. I just didn't know how to react.
Oh my god.
'Cause-
Guess I had more initiative than you, buddy. Because I didn't just get made out with at the workplace. I got to have sex at the workplace, baby.
Okay, we'll save that story for another
Fair,
time.
fair.
But my little stories, it's probably just because I'm gonna toot my own horn. I think I'm a pretty attractive person. It's just that I'm autistic, so I have zero social charisma. I'm just fucking there. I'm a blank piece of wood. A very attractive piece of wood, but just a piece of wood. But, so, I'm just walking around the fucking... Like, a state law says that all alcohol has to be, like, off the casino floor by 3 a.m.
Yeah, okay.
It's just some weird, like, law per the gaming commission. So I'm just doing that. So I'm just walking around cleaning up alcohol, and some guy... That's one of the reasons why I, like, didn't have time to, like, follow up with it either, is because I was on a time limit of doing something. I had 30 minutes to clean off a fucking massive floor of alcohol, and I was, like, the only person doing it. So... This guy just ends up stopping me, and he's like, "Oh, sir." I was like, "Yeah, what? So, can you do me a favor?" Like, "Yeah, sure. What do you need?" He's like, "I'm gonna need you to stop being so attractive. It's really distracting." And he just fucking walks away. I was just standing there with like both hands with empty fucking alcohol bottles. I didn't know how to respond.
The response you should have done is drop the alcohol bottles, walk after him, and then should have just pulled him by the collar and kissed him.
I fucking probably would have got fired if I was like I said, fucking the gaming commission's federal government. You don't fuck around with what they do. It's like if I wasn't like doing something that it would get us like fined like a couple $1,000s. If I didn't do it, I would have just stopped what I was doing and followed him.
That's absolutely fair, but you at least should have given him your number, my dude. That was low initiative on you.
I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have the time. I was like, fuck, I wish I could.
That's okay. I'll give you that one then. You tried. A for effort.
And the other semi-related to your story was, it wasn't a murder, but there was a... do you know the rumor, it's like they say that nobody dies in Disneyland?
I don't know that rumor, no.
Basically, in Disney World or Disneyland, if someone like drops dead, like fucking if they even get decapitated or some shit, they'll like have people like sit there and like do CPR on their body, and while they're just rushing out of the park until it's out, so they officially don't call it dead until it's out of the park. And that's just a rumor. I don't know how true it is, but we did have a very similar thing at my job because it's a very rare, especially at a tiny casino like this. But there were people that would just ruin their lives and just fucking jump off the parking garage. But we have 0 reported suicides at the casino, as bullshit as that is. Fucking, it's like, oh, they didn't die in the casino, they died in the parking garage. That's absolutely not part of the property. But I had to be like the guy that brought it up because it is morbid as it is. Because while I was in the blackjack class that I was training in, like I knew how it worked around there. But these people, they've never been to a casino. It's like this guy has been like a fucking data analyst for 20 years. This guy's fucking, I don't know what he's done. This woman's a meth addict. So, fucking, they don't know how the fucking shit works around here. So I had to be the one to bring up. It's like, I wanted to make it clear. It's like, if somebody offs themselves, it's not your fault. You're just doing your job. So I had to ask the instructor. It's like, so how many people have died? Like, how many people have offed themselves over the years? And he says, officially none. And then he goes to telling a story of like 3 people that have killed themselves.
Oh my god, that's brutal. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not pretty. But someone had to be like, this is probably going to happen at some point. It's not your fault. Yeah, it's like these people threw their lives away. You were just flipping cards. It's like fucking. You're just as responsible as the person that sold them the rope. You didn't know what they were gonna do with it. But yeah, it's fucking. It's kind of a morbid spot to end it on, but we've been recording for about an hour. I think that's enough for a decent sized little
Especially with the humdingers
thing.
that I brought out, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I thought I had some decent stories, but then you fucking just blew mine out of the water.
The best part is, as said, I have enough for so many of these. I have stories to tell. I have had a very interesting and fucked up life, and my workplace has been. It deserves the name Hell Hotel. It really does. It really does.
Alright, well, I think I'm going to do the outro for this. This has been the voices in your headphones, along with our little guest, Jack. They are in the Discord. It's open for anybody to join if they're interested. I mostly talk about how I'm going to record shit and then end up not recording shit because I have so much things to do in my life, Jesus Christ. This podcast, the idea of it is it's open. Anybody can join if they want to. Just fucking come in with topics. I'm probably going to bring in Squeaks for the next one, let him talk about the things he's been working on. So if anybody's interested in joining the Discord or hanging out, it's been pretty friendly. The people are nice. I haven't had any issues with anybody yet. Otherwise, that pretty much covers anything, unless you want to plug anything. I don't know if you do things.
I do stuff online, but I don't think anyone would be interested in that from your little YouTube corner. So
You'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised, and also I'm just doing it for my sake, so it's fine. I don't want to plug myself. Besides, just yeah, I'm here. I am here with voices and stuff. I am one of his moderators and shit. Just come and say hi. We are fine. We don't bite. Mostly.
I might make fun of you because I'm an asshole, but that's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you join us for the next one. This has been the voice in your headphones, and I don't have a clever outro for this one. So, good night.
See ya!